Final game of the season, and since the last episode when we had all that transfer business, I've got a bit more for you. Welcome back to our final game of the season. We have Nürburg. We don't have a chance of moving further up the table, but we can drop behind Dynamo Dresden, who are a team that's going to be mentioned pretty shortly as well. So we're getting to that. We, as I say, 5th or 6th. Either way, it's an improvement on where we were last season when we finished 8th. We don't have our new signing as our top scorer, but he is playing very well, which is good. And as I say, even though we're outside of a transfer window, got a little bit of business to update you on. But before we jump into all that, if you could do me the favour of liking and subscribing, show your support on the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. And it just helps get my little face out there. You might have noticed our balance has just dropped into the negative again, but we're only one game shy of the end of the season, and we're going to get a big old bump of money again from the league. So I'll run through the games since the previous episode, where we didn't actually play a game. We had the Union Berlin game, which I'm glad I didn't show you, because we got battered. We lost 4-2. We followed that up then with a 3-0 win away at Freiburg, 2-1 win away at Hamburg. We lost then to Schalke, which was a relatively close game for us. A draw against Werder Bremen, again, quite a strong team in the division. And then back-to-back wins against Paderborn and Jan Regensburg. So we have our final game against Nürburg. They are currently sat in the relegation zone. They've got no chance of getting out. So realistically, they've got nothing to fight for. Ramic, as I mentioned, he's not gone into the top scorers, but he is one of the top performers in the league, which is brilliant actually from him. He's currently sat on 10 goals from 13 and 13 starts, 1 off the bench. He's doing pretty well. He's gone up to be our best player, actually, and not only our best player, the best striker in the league, which, valued at only 1.2 to 3.5, seems harsh, but I'm not planning to sell him anyway, so it's perfectly fine. And on the subject of selling people, Sokolov has gone. £2.2 million is going over to Dynamo Dresden. He was out of contract at the start of this year, but we renewed his contract in January the previous. So I'm happy we did so, because we bought in a stack load of money for him. He's kind of he's not an icon or a club legend or anything like that, I don't believe, but he's a good player. So I'm happy to get some money for him, and hopefully he'll get some decent games under his belt for Dresden. With that money, we had the next gen list come through. There's a little fella called Lewis Parsons that popped up on there, and I might have spent 950 grand on a 16-year-old. I definitely did. He's a centre-back, decent to be fair, pretty good all round, good work rate, brilliant teamwork. Tackling's pretty strong as well, marking, technique. The only thing that does kind of let him down, his heading is only 9, his jumping reach is 13, but again, at 16, we can see a lot of improvements on those. But I think he'll do a good job for us, especially since we're playing 3 centre-backs. And he's left-footed, so he can probably replace Senga long-term, and then sell for £400 million, preferably. We also have Nürburg and Christopher Lang joining us, who are signings that I confirmed outside of the window. There's a new striker. Got to be honest, with the guys I've signed since, I'm not sure he'll even make it first team, but he's with us nonetheless. And Pascal Nürburg is actually joining us, so he'll be a challenge out there on that right wing back, and maybe centre mid, so he'll do a good job. I have just noticed, stupid Lewis Parsons isn't actually joining us till he's like 18, so he's coming in almost 2 years' time, so we'll keep an eye on him. Bit of a shame. I wanted him to come in when he was actually... So our lineup for our final game of the season, we have Veldhuis in goal, Gunter Schwarz, Diouf and Senga as our back 3, Stewart and Ferranda out wide, with Brahimi, our old left back, in the Mazzala role in the middle, Henrique alongside him, Sokolov's final game of for the club, in centre-attacking mid, with Ramic and Leonardo up top. I have swapped the left side around, so instead of being a centre mid attack and a wing back again, I've gone for inverted wing back, who will come into this position, and then a Mazzala who should go out into this position. But if we look at the average positions, he pushes up further and wider, so it doesn't make any sense. But Senga puts the ball forward towards Brahimi, into Sokolov, and back into the defender. Diouf, everything kind of goes through that centre attacking mid role. It is vaguely useful in this formation, to be fair. Oh, Jesus. A calamity of mistakes from their defenders. That was harsh. It's funny, though, nonetheless. Schwartz is going to be put in the corner. Our centre back, I really need to sort these corners out. And Constantini heads away. Senga picks up the loose ball and back out to Schwartz. And the highlight just ends for some reason. Stewart with a throw in on the right. Over to Leonardo. And the ball. Okay, that really confused me, that flight did. Brahimi out on the edge. Sekulov all the way back to the defenders again. Out wide on the right side? No. To the centre back. Diouf, Schwartz, and Henrik. Brilliant ball through towards Veranda. I've got a little bit of an issue. New mic. I think I've introduced you previously. I don't have a clue what to do with it. What I've got is currently, it's sat on a big box on my table to try and get it closer to my face. Because even in the previous episode, it wasn't the clearest. It was quite annoying. There's still a little bit of echoes coming out. And I'm hoping getting it closer to my mug might cut that out. But another horrific corner. And at the end of the highlight. Kral starts with the ball. He's our old goalkeeper with Victoria Berlin. And then he left because obviously he's too good. If I can get... do you know what? I was going to say if I can get my hands on him. But I don't need to. I've got 2 good goalkeepers already in the team. So don't worry about it. Ramic all the way back to Senga again. There's so many kind of just passes backwards. But also, I've tried to fiddle about with the instructions. So if this goes in and the ref leaves it and minds his own business, I'll show you. So I've kicked up the tempo. So it was back here. So I'm going really higher tempo, obviously. The width I've dropped back to fairly narrow because I had been using it as the standard width. And I did have it on regroup. So I've kicked that off. And I'm hoping that instead of the guys just regrouping, they'll press a little bit, regroup a little bit. Because it seems that they always seem to get caught out of position. I know you'd think regroup would stop them doing that. But I'm hoping with easing off on that, it allows them to press a tiny bit more, which will then allow them not to put the ball in, which would then catch us out of possession. That made sense in my head. I don't know if it made sense to you. So it seems, just before our goal, Dresden took the lead, took 5th place, and then we've had it straight back off them. So we'll make some subs, see if we can do to make sure we keep it. So I'll bring Hoffman in at right wing back, whatever the position is. We'll leave Sekulov. We might bring him off a little bit later. I'll also leave Leonardo and Ramic. I don't know what to do with this third sub, to be quite honest. Have I got any other players that are on the verge? Mingozzi's been with us for a while, and I want to give him a farewell because I don't want to loan him once more. So we'll give him the rest of this game, and then we'll also bring off Sekulov at about 70, 75. So Diouf nods it forward from the goal kick. Henrique towards Ramic, back into Ramic, back into Ramic, back into Ramic, and a really tame shot. He managed to win possession 4 separate times during that, and then did the world's worst shot at the end of it. So 75th minute, we've brought off Sekulov now for Movando. Give him his little round of applause from the crowd, even though there's only 6 of our fans here. But still, we've given him the majority of the game. Zielinski and Osden knock it all the way back to their goalkeeper. Kral, are you going to batter this forward for no reason and let us gain possession? That's a shame. You definitely should have done that. Oh, is it this time? There it is. And now the defender wins the header. Beautiful. Now we attack. It's how the game goes. Schwartz, you've got plenty of players to choose from. Brahimi, now I've dropped him over to left back. Mingozzi, Leonardo. Oh, and he rattles the crossbar. 12 minutes left now. Beda with a throw in for Nürburg. I nearly said Duisburg, that's us. They're moving the ball forward on that left side. If we do concede, we'll end up dropping that position. I fear that might happen now because my left centre back was stood about 3 miles behind all the other guys. So we've just let him get through on goal. Why did I even mention it? Why? The very second I said if we concede, it was obvious what was going to happen. But for some reason, these two are running with a line. This guy, complete world of his own, kept him on side. Absolute numpty. Into the last minute of normal time, we've been dominating them, and we've drawn 1-1. It's just the way it is. Oh no. Kral with the goal kick. Oh, we've mistimed a header. Schwartz, to be fair, if we lose, losing and drawing doesn't mean anything. So I'm going to kick us up to attacking. Senga, well, we've got, this is in the 92nd minute? So we've got 2 minutes of the game left. Senga, Diouf, into Movando. Nice slow build-up, guys. Let's get a little attack on the go. and let's score a goal. Sound like a plan? You goddamn right it does. Leonardo's through. Oh, he's been blocked. Hoffman's picked up the ball, though, on the right side. Oh, okay. Highlight just finished. I guess that's it. It's not it! Schwartz! He's walking. I don't know why the highlight started so early. Could have started here, but that's fine. Schwartzy, back on the ball once more. Captain Schwartz, leaving us. Ramic nods it down into Leonardo. Oh, and that was just a complete waste of time. He had so. Oh, okay. Ramic was offside. I'll let him off. We've got another highlight. There's 15 seconds of the season left. One goal could cost us, or save us, earn us, that's the word I was going for, about £1 million. Why don't we score it? What are you saying, guys? Ayari out on the left, all the way back to the goalkeeper. And that was it. What a waste of my time that highlight was. Ramic once more picks up best performer for us. Who's man of the match? Also appears to be Ramic. So, you know what? It's annoying to lose the last game of the season. I didn't catch what the other teams were, so we'll hop through to that, have a little look, and then we'll shuffle through to our season review. Unfortunately, Dresden did manage to keep their 2-1 lead. So we did end up costing ourselves the extra position, which I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but it's more money, and I like having more money. So it's not what we've got. Freiburg stole the last automatic promotion spot on the final day, ahead of Schalke, who lost to Darmstadt. They really shouldn't have been losing that game. Who were Freiburg playing? Holstein Kiel. So both, well, to be fair, both Freiburg and Darmstadt took positions because of the same two fixtures. So fair play to them. Schalke are in the playoff final thing, whatever it is. I'm not sure who that'll be against. I might have a little look just before the season review. But you know what? £12.5 million is not to be sniffed at. Also, the other team was St. Pauli. The ones that came up with us into the second tier went straight up again, and then it looks like they almost kept themselves safe in the Bundesliga, but couldn't quite do it. So, if we look at the league table in its total, okay, I would say they couldn't quite do it. They were 10 points short. However, they do have a chance to stay up with their game against Schalke. So, obviously, I'm not going to watch it. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I come around to the next episode, I'll probably have forgotten. But if you don't see Schalke next season, assume that they've won. We have our season review. I'll skip past the first page because, if we're honest, the board's view on the transfers is a complete waste of everyone's time, so I'm not going to waste yours. They give me an A. They said they wanted to avoid relegation. I said, what about 5th? They've gone A+, lad. No, they haven't. Just A. That's fine. Whatever. Matanovic came away as our top scorer with 12 in the league, and top scorer in the cup were Sekhalov, Senga, Hoffman, and Beltran, all scoring 1 goal, even though apparently we only scored 3, which doesn't quite make sense, but they all scored. Maybe one was on loan, but I don't think either of those players were on loan at any point. So I've got 4 players in the top scorers, even though as a team we only scored 3, which makes perfect sense. Our moments to remember: biggest win against Gruppe Firth away from home, 4-0. The match to remember was a 3-0 against Karlsruhe after losing a man in the 3rd minute. To be fair, it's a pretty strong result. And from that 4-0, Folarunsho, who's leaving us, scored a goal of the season in the 11th minute. So let's have a little butchers at that. From what I vaguely remember of this, it was a screamer. I don't remember anything about it. I just remember thinking that Folarunsho scored a screamer. He's going to be amazing. Turns out, A, he wasn't. He was all right. And B, he left us. So, as I mentioned, I think last episode, he's dead to me. So I'm surprised they even watched that, to be quite honest. Finances. Sponsorship, exactly the same as it was last year. Broadcast revenue has gone up from not applicable. Seems odd because we're in the same division, but whatever. Corporate and hospitality is basically the same. And matchday commercial is pretty much the same again. Competition prize money went up just over 2 million from an increase of 2 positions. So, yeah, maybe if we would have gone up to 5th, it would have been a further £1 million. Who knows? But 13 million. Actually, that's weird. Cup. 12.5 million we got from the other one. 1.2 million of merchandise sales and just shy of 10,000 shirts sold, with Ramic taking the most sales. Considering I joined in January, it's pretty strong. We have Matanovic, Brahimi, Mavondo, and Sekhalov as the other shirt sellers, and there's no movement in reputation either. Our actual team, we've got Veldquist, Lampinen, Schwartz, Diouf, Senga, Weishaupt, Sekulov, Mingozi, Hoffman, Ramic, and Matanovic. Which is fair, pretty much what we have. Obviously, a few of those players have gone now, but yeah, as I say, transitional year. We'll get this transition done, and we'll have them next year. That's the plan. But player of the season and young player of the season, we're both going to Schwartz, who is leaving us. I did have the option to sign him for about 600k, which I did try, but he wanted about £20,000 a week, so obviously he's not having that. Highest transfer fee received was the record for Lampinen, for just over 4.5 million, and most goals by a player in a match was Ramic with a hat-trick, which seems odd. I'm sure I've had a hat-trick at some point, but apparently I haven't. Matanovic, as we mentioned a few times, top scorer. Most assist was Mavondo. Highest player of the match awards is Ramic, so he's got 6 just from January, the end of January as well. Highest average rating was Schwartz with 7.2, and the most passes completed per 90 was Kalidou Diouf, 71. We didn't have any competition awards because we're a bit naff. But the board have set the initial budget, so we'll click straight onto that, no faffing about, and they've given me £3 million. I'll have that. And 135 grand a week to spend, which is an increase on the 122 we're currently spending. If you're wondering why that's so high, every time I had a transfer in, I just slapped it straight into wages. So they give me an extra 14 grand wages and £3.7 million to spend, which I'm all for. 12.5 in the bank as well. And already making quite a few signings. I think that's just going to be on 1 or 2, 3 maybe players that are just going to be big signings that are going to improve the team. I might see if we can get Schwartz in. But if his wages are going to be ridiculous, then I'm just going to leave it as it is. But we'll drop an inquiry on him now before we leave up. I was going to bring us onto the F10 screen for the... do you know what? We'll do it anyway, because I can't remember what it's called. Schedule. It's completely pointless. The game's finished. The season's finished. And I hope you'll be back for the next one. The only thing I'm going to do is I'll come back at the end of the transfer window, so we can do the first round of the Cup, first bunch of games off camera. I'll let you know everything that's happened in the transfer window, and we'll get cracking on our chase for the Bundesliga. But I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, there's a like, subscribe, little buttons. If you haven't already clicked them, that would be greatly appreciated. There's some items over here so you can carry on watching as well. And thank you very much for your time.